Come on in, come on in. What's up, what's good, what's poppin', what's crackin', Pearl, what really good nitty, man? Yo, we start that over. What's up, what's good, what's poppin', what's crackin', what's percolating, what's really good in the hood. It is your man, Theo Butler, and welcome to a, yes, we 3-0, man. That's all I ain't saying. I'm just saying with the Rock With Me Nation. The Georgia Bulldog version of the Rock With Me Nation. Man, y'all clap the thing on us. Oh, yeah. Yeah, before we begin, like, share, subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. If you don't like, leave a constructive comment. Why? Because if you know me, grow me, sharing is caring. Yes, Georgia Bulldogs 3-0. This is the WGTB Sports Edition. College football, Georgia Bulldog review, reaction, whatever you want to call it. I'm here. We're going to break this thing down. We are 3-0. Yeah, boy, look, it's, you know what? I know some of y'all don't want to do it. But you know what? Let's start this show off by saying this. It's time to start putting some respect on Stetson Bennett's name. No. Dead ass. I know we don't want to. Cause the stigma that's around it. But 16 for 23, 284 yards, averaging 17.8 yards a clip, 2 TDs, no interception. This is Stetson Bennett. And yes, he had another Heisman moment yesterday too. I'm gonna put it right here. You see it? You see that dead leg? See, I'm gonna help y'all out. If Stetson Bennett wasn't named Stetson Bennett and he was playing like that, because Bryce Young is doing that. And everybody talks about how amazing Bryce Young is, right? Or if Stetson Bennett was, I don't know, the quarterback at Florida. You know, with the height, speed, weight. Because everybody talking about him. He actually was named SEC Player of the Week when Stetson showed out on Oregon. I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know how the hell that happened. Not when he showed out on Oregon. Stetson Bennett. Anyway, because I could talk about Stetson all day. I'm pretty sure all of us could at this particular point in time because he's making it relatively easy for us to talk about him. Georgia Bulldogs beat South Carolina 48-7. Now, mind you, because y'all gonna be like, Theo, I don't gamble. Because when I gamble, my team's losing. So you know I didn't bet on the national championship game. Mind you, Vegas had Georgia plus 24. So Georgia was picked to win by 24. Georgia was up by 24 points early in the third quarter. I was like, ooh, this is going to get ugly. You know why we still have trepidation about Georgia? It's because of what we've experienced since 1980. Because of what we've endured as Georgia fans since 1980, especially what we recently endured with Mark Richt. Because we're used to our teams sometimes winning, but not necessarily covering the spread. You know what team we are used to covering the spread damn near every time they take the field? Alabama. Alabama is not going to play nice. They're going to beat the dog stew out of you. They're going to embarrass you. Well, as Georgia Bulldog fans, we're still getting accustomed to the fact that we have a coach that thinks just like the coach at Alabama. So we still got it. Even though we won the national hesitancy, even though we won the national championship, we still sit back. We don't want to act like some other fan bases act. Hey, Florida. Speaking of fan bases, because we gonna get them Brock later on, Brock Bowers later on. God knows we could. One of my friends, shout out to him, hit me up yesterday. Recently reconnected and everything. Used to be in the Marine Corps together. Miami Hurricane fan. Huge Miami Hurricane fan. And when I say huge, we were in the Marine Corps stationed together in Memphis, Millington, Tennessee back in 87, 88. So we going back. This is when the Hurricanes were running things in the Big East. And he said something to me, say, hey man, like I don't want to act like that, but you know, I know Georgia's supposed to be good, but South Carolina sucked. And so I texted him back, I say, you know what? Some might have argued that the teams that Miami played back in the day sucked. Let me help y'all out. When your team is great and they're playing a good team, they're supposed to make that good team look average. They're supposed to make an average team look bad, and they're supposed to make a bad team look worse. South Carolina was averaging 30 points a game before they played Georgia yesterday. They only put up 7. We saw what Oregon did, right? I don't want y'all thinking I didn't. Oregon sat up there last night because y'all gonna act. Oregon beat BYU. Now, Oregon was ranked number 25 in the country. Oregon was ranked 25 in the country. BYU was ranked 12th. Oregon sat up there and put up 41 points on BYU. Y'all remember what happened when Georgia played them, right? You don't? Okay, I'm gonna go back because y'all might. Theo, we don't really remember what happened when Georgia played. I'm gonna help y'all out because I get it. Y'all might not know. Y'all might not know. Y'all might be like totally oblivious. Georgia beat Oregon 49-3. They embarrassed Oregon. They made a good team look average. Now, when that good team... No, actually they made a good team look bad. But when that bad team got back where they was, what did they do? Now, mind you, coming into that game, Oregon was ranked number 11 in the country. Georgia was ranked number 3. Georgia treated Oregon like they have no business being on the field with them. Well, what did Oregon do to BYU? Treated BYU like they had no business being on the field with them. So, that being said, because I don't want to keep doing that, let's take a look at these stats. So Stetson Bennett was 16 for 23, 284 yards, 17.8 yards a clip, 2 TDs, no interception. Beck came out there, 5 for 6, 55 yards, 11 yards per reception, per pass attempt. 1 TD. No, 1 TD. Neither quarterback from Georgia threw any interception. But let's take a look at these rushing yards. Georgia once again is committed to the run this year, but running back by committee. Stetson Bennett led all rushers again yesterday with 36 yards, 12 yards a carry, 1 TD. Yeah, Stetson Bennett. Receiving, Brock Bowers. Is this dude not a beast? Listen. This one of them things where they call him Baby Gronk. I wish, but he not. I wish he would fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he not. So hopefully maybe my Giants, and when I say my Giants, because I'm originally from New York, Bronx, boogie down. Shout out to the BX. Maybe he can get to the Giants, the Jets. Jets don't know what they're doing over there. He'd make a great 1-2 combination with Saquon Barkley, so hopefully the Giants can get it. If not, he right there, keep him in Atlanta. Brock Bowers showed out yesterday. 5 targets, 5 receptions, 121 yards, 2 TDs. Listen, Brock Bowers is a number 1 draft pick. He is. Anytime you got a tight end, they handing off reverses to the dude, and he's scoring, and he dead-legging folks, and he running away from DBs. As somebody said yesterday, Georgia's tight end room is better than quite a few tight end rooms in the NFL. That's no lie. Georgia's tight end room right now is better than quite a few tight end rooms in the National Football League. So yeah, Brock Bowers went off for 121 yards yesterday. Lad McConkey, 52 yards, 6 receptions. He didn't have any touchdowns yesterday. Brock Bowers did have 2 receptions yesterday. And he had a toe. Oh my God. Did y'all see the toe drag swag with Brock Bowers? Let's talk about this over there. The Georgia defense. They did give up 7 points yesterday. It's probably the 3rd, 4th stringers in there and everything like that. But I like it because the boys fought. And what I like more than anything else, the DB that got scored on for Georgia. You'd have thought he gave up a game-winning touchdown based on his look. Oh my God. Kirby was talking to the dude. Great job. Always continue to coach through and everything. But the young man was more upset with himself. You could see it. He was visibly more upset with himself than what Kirby said to him. And that is the epitome of a great football team. Tell the players on my team all the time. You tell them all the time. You cannot kick a player's ass harder than he kick his own ass when he make a mistake. If he make a mistake, oh, you're going to have to damn near pick him up because he is 38 hot. Listen, that young man owned that play. He's pissed about that play. I love the fact that Kirby Smart has these young men from the first string to the fourth string dedicated to completing the mission. What he expects from his first string, the fourth string expects to give it to him as well. They want a shutout. Listen, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but it's a couple of things that myself, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, and others that aren't Georgia Bulldog fan, you just need to get used to. Because I know we're used to some other stuff. First and foremost, Stetson Bennett is a Heisman Trophy candidate. It is what it is. I know what we're looking at, and I know why we're looking at it like that, but we need to start looking at Stetson Bennett the same way we looked at Bryce Young. Because Stetson Bennett is putting up similar numbers, and he's doing damn near the same thing athletically that Bryce Young would do. Yes, it's time to start talking about this dude. And Stetson Bennett has something on his shoulder that Bryce Young does not have. You know what's that? Stetson Bennett has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. See, him having to walk on, he came back to Georgia for one reason and one reason only, to show y'all that last year wasn't a mistake. See, it's not about necessarily Georgia winning the national championship this year. You know what it's about with Stetson Bennett? It's about it not being his fault that Georgia doesn't win the national championship. Right now, Stetson Bennett is walking and feeling within himself that he is just as good, if not better, than any other collegiate starting quarterback in the NCAA. And that is big because it's been a minute since Georgia they had a dog at quarterback. Yeah, that's a dog at quarterback. Also, Georgia is on schedule. When Georgia lost to Alabama in the national championship game first time around, Georgia shouldn't even been in that game. That should have been a huge wake-up call to everybody that Kirby had his foot on the gas. See, I wasn't expecting Georgia to play for the national championship that soon. I was looking at 5 to 6 years down the road. Why I say 5 to 6 years down the road? Because 5 years would have been 1 year after Kirby had everybody at his school. Wouldn't have been no more Mark Richt players. But see, Kirby, we can say whatever we want to. Nick Saban, say he cut from the Nick Saban tree. This is the closest version of Nick Saban, aside from Nick Saban, that's out there right now. And he's doing it Nick Saban-esque. So where Georgia is at right now, Kirby Smart is finna do for Georgia. Is doing for Georgia what Nick Saban did for LSU and is doing for Alabama. If you don't get Kirby Smart up out of Georgia, Georgia is going to be a dominant program until he leaves. He leaves. Understand what I'm saying? Until he leaves. I'm like, Theo, what would it mean? It's a lot of things. Georgia's a Nike school. Kirby is now starting to air the ball out. Before it was run. No, now he's starting to throw the ball all over the place. So the receivers are starting to get involved. So if you're a receiver and you want to catch footballs and everything like that, now it's okay to go to the University of Georgia. The offensive line and defensive line are blocking. You getting people drafted from the University of Georgia from the offensive and defensive line. So now if you want to go to the NFL and you like blocking, well, your skills can be put on display against the best competition every Saturday. So you get that film, you going to Georgia. Then look at the colors. Red and black. Black ain't their primary color, but it is their secondary color. And red is very much in there. And red is a sexy ass color. It is. Look at how many versions of red out there. Just take a look. And people like dogs. And that G that's on the side of their helmet that they got Vince Lombardi's permission to use from the Green Bay Packers. Kirby Smart has everything he needs right there. And it's Georgia. There's no other dominant football program in the state of Georgia. They're competing against themselves. So, Theo, what are you saying? I'm saying Kirby's already been in 2 national championship games, right? Right. He's 1-1. You need to know before it's all said and done, he will have been in more he will be in more national championship games with the University of Georgia, and he will have a winning record when it's all said and done. He will. Now, what do I get to do? What type of benefits do I get? Oh, don't think I ain't noticed y'all changed the number font on y'all jerseys this year. Uniform watch. Y'all didn't tell me Georgia was doing that. So you brought my stuff, made it. My jerseys don't look old no more. Listen, Georgia not going anywhere. They not. I don't know what you're going to do in the SEC East because you're not going to catch up. The SEC West, that's something different. But the SEC East, nah. Y'all ain't got the right color combinations over there. And they ain't got what people want. It ain't that simple. But when you consider what's going on in Georgia right now, I don't know. Maybe it is. We're going to come back to y'all next week. Who Georgia play next week? Or do we have a bye next week? It'd be nice if we had a bye, right? I doubt it. Let's take a look at this schedule. Ooh. We got to play Kent State. Let's get some people healthy. Because after that, we roll right into SEC play. Consistent SEC play. I ain't saying I'm saying. Listen, I appreciate y'all rocking with me and everything like that. We going to get these things up. I'm a true Georgia Bulldog. Do we think we're going back to the national championship this game this year? At the very least, I believe we are going to the college football playoffs. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.